Welcome to another episode of Cruising in the Kitchen. Tonight we're going to do some stir-fried tofu, another quick, easy weeknight recipe that takes no time at all. I think one of the most important things about this recipe is the tofu in itself.
All that's spices.
The tofu itself. And you're looking for firm tofu, and there's a couple different ways to do that. I purchased, it's called super firm tofu. I mean, this is organic by chance, but either way, it's called firm tofu. It is definitely firmer than the tofu that you buy in the store. The regular tofu that you buy in the store, you can make into firm tofu by, putting something over it overnight and getting some of the liquid out on a plate. But I think the easiest way is to look for firm tofu, or really just don't stress out about it and use the regular tofu. It would just have a little bit more of different, not quite at the same texture because the tofu is, has more moisture in it. But I find that the recipe is a little bit better with the firm. And I notice in the stores that I've gone to, the firm is right next to the regular tofu, so don't be afraid to look for that. So all we're going to do is cube it up. Just like you would cube up chicken or beef to stir fry, today we're just using tofu. Everything you want more or less the same sizes. And the package had some liquid in it, and I just put some paper towel around it just to dry it off a teeny bit. But other than that, this came right out of the package. And I find it super easy to have a nice protein-packed weeknight meal, or any meal really, for a vegetarian, that, is all prepped except, somebody has this tofu all prepped for you. I find tofu very easy to work with. It's ready to go. It's a very plain type of thing, obviously, so we're going to enhance it with some flavors, and because of its texture, it tends to absorb the flavors. So there you go. Simple. I have my pan on the stove slowly getting heated. I think a nice, quick marinade of the soy sauce is a good idea. You can even leave this on the counter to sit half hour, it's not going to hurt it. So we'll start with that. And then I'm doing an Asian style because it's a stir fry, with regular rice and veggies. So I'm doing soy sauce, a little sesame oil, and just some cumin, salt, and pepper. Sesame oil, very strong, so we'll use just a little bit. Half a teaspoon or so, and then just salt and pepper. Treat it like a piece of meat. Just season it regular, like a regular piece of meat. It's very plain, so it can handle all the seasoning. Anything else you want, you could even use some fresh herbs in here. Cilantro, since we're doing an Asian style. But the real way to make this sing is a little bit of cumin. You could use Chinese 5-spice powder too. It has a little bit more variety. It's a 5-spice powder is like a blend, but simple little cumin will do it. If you don't have that, I'm just going to perk it up with a little hot pepper. You can use cayenne or none. So that's the basic flavoring. You can flavor this any way you want. When you stir frying tofu, it does not have to be in any sort of Asian type flavors. This could be, I've done this with harissa, I've done this for Italian food where you just put regular Italian spices, dried garlic and onion powder and things like that. So you're only limited by your imagination. I'm trying to get my pan hot, and I want to add some cornmeal to the tofu so that I'll get a nice little crust of a texture. Tablespoon, 2 or 3, really doesn't matter. You just want to coat the tofu. And you see, it gets a teeny bit gummy. It's fine. That's just the texture it goes. So I want that pan, hot. I'll put it on the stove, medium high, and I'll leave it there 5 minutes. Because you want a teeny bit of a sear. You know, just the same way that you would treat chicken or beef. So, the smells really good. The soy sauce is really coming through. You could use teriyaki sauce. You know, there's just so many things you could do. Don't be limited. I just have these ingredients here right now. So, we have a nice little coating. My pan's getting hot. I'm going to wait a half a second. Oil for the pan. You could also use some sesame oil to the pan too if you didn't put it in there. But basically a couple tablespoons of this will be fine. There we go. Okay. Once again, even though my pan is hot, I'm not going to throw it in for about 30 seconds because I also want that oil to get hot. And this is another quick lesson for you. Never put the oil in a cold pan because you want your pan to get hot first before you add any sort of fat. And that applies to just about everything you do. This pan was extremely cold before. You would be burning your oil as you're warming up the pan. That's the premise for that. So the pan's getting hotter. Okay. Put it all in at once. And you want to hear that noise in the pan. That's how you know your pan has some heat. And I'm going to do this on high the whole time. I'm sitting here watching it. So the first time I dump them in the pan, I'm going to let it sit for a second. I want to build up a crust. The easiest way to do that is not touch it. So, I still haven't flipped it yet. I'm still building up a crust. This really only takes about 2 to 4 minutes. Total. I mean, the tofu you can eat raw. It's cooked already. We're just warming this through and putting a really nice crust on it without burning it. So here we go. Now you can see the crust. See? And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for a little color on the tofu. So I'm just going to keep tossing these squares, trying to get each side eventually more or less. I think you can see which ones. But basically, enough. If you just keep doing this for a few minutes, you put them all in the pan, checking any you see. You can always turn a couple over if one hasn't turned over, like that one, maybe that one. Don't stress out about it. Just keep flipping them. 2 to 4 minutes doing this on a very high heat like I'm doing is all you need. And you want a hot pan. You want a hot pan, you want a hot pan. Don't, see how high the flame is? It's as high as it can go. You want a hot pan. You're stir frying. You want to coat and you want to get this nice coating. That's what the cornstarch is for. It's to help you get that little teeny bit of a coating and give you some texture to the tofu. It's much better, believe me. And that's it. I'm just going to do this for the next 30 seconds or so. Serve this over rice. Serve it over vegetables. Obviously you know what to do with cooked tofu. You can sit in the fridge for a couple days even. Skip for a couple days. I'm just trying to finish crusting it up, finding the pieces that need to be flipped. Just get in there with the spatula if you find a couple that are stubborn and won't flip over. But I'll keep doing this until it dries out the pan. That tablespoon of oil is practically gone. The tofu absorbed it because the cornstarch grabs it. So, this is a non-stick pan too. Makes it super easy. So as you can see, I'm just about there. And then we're done. And I don't want it to get too brown. No, I don't want to burn anything. But this is just about it. Extremely satisfying meal because tons of protein. So it's good for you, and you mix it with vegetables and obviously rice or whatever type of starch you want. So turn the pan off. serve it on a tray. Sauteed tofu. You know, with your soy sauce and your cumin and salt and pepper, and a little sesame oil and hot pepper. And tons of easy variations on this. Flavor it the way you want. Don't be afraid. Have fun in the kitchen. Use whatever spices you want. Enjoy. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to all your friends. Make suggestions. If you want to know something in particular, let me know. I'll cook it. I'll show it to you next time.